everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque on July 23rd, painting live at 7 p.m. Central Time. So we finished up our June box last week, and this week we're starting our new box, which is Jangle in July, which shipped on July 5th and 6th. So we have a box here that we're going to kind of unbox for you. So when there was would have been paper, wrapping paper on top. And the first thing you would have found is our best wishes, best year ever, because we had our 1 year anniversary in July. We started a year ago last July with our boxes, so we made it a whole year because of you guys. So thank you for joining us and continuing to join us. And on the back of the card is a liner brush that is our anniversary gift to you. It's a detail liner. It's a artist paintbrush 59550 liner, so make sure you didn't throw that out. And it's a really nice little liner. I just painted eyes on our hedgehogs using it, and I really like it. So that is our gift. Everyone got this, that got the July box. And then we have created a new little flyer, and it's our coming soon. I think we'll be doing it in each box for Bisque that you can add to your box. You just would message us, and Courtney can add it to your invoice. So for August, we're kind of highlighting the truck inserts because we have all of those molds now. So you can order the truck inserts by messaging us if there's any one you wanted. Say you wanted the Christmas one and the 4th of July one, and if it will fit in your August box or September box or October box, whatever you decide you want it, you just send us a message and then Courtney adds it to your invoice. If you go on our website, brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com, and check out to get it, it will ship right away, but you will be charged shipping. So if you want to add items to your subscription box that fits in there, that we cover the shipping on, you have to send us a message for those. So if you check out on the website, you're going to get charged shipping. So make sure you send us a message right on Facebook where it says message. So we do have both trucks. We have all the inserts, and we also have the teardrop camper, the retro camper, and the truck camper with the add-on. So all those are available as extra add-ons, and then if there's any other bisque you see on our page that you would like, or brushes or paint, any items like that, then we can fit them in your box. They'll ship when the bisque box ship, and we will cover the shipping. So that's kind of a little lowdown on that. Then the next thing you would have found in your box is our little inventory sheet, and this is called Jangle in July. It has the mold company, the mold number, and then what it was. Then we always have extras as part of our Bisque box. So in this one you had the electrical clip light, your glitter, some large pin lights, some no fire snow. And from May through December we're highlighting a dry brush. For the month of July you received a artist paintbrush size 5 flat dry brush, so that's also in this box. And if you're a subscriber from May through December, you will have a full set of those dry brushes. You'll have the round ones and the flat ones. You will need sealer and the glue of your choice to finish off gluing in the little pin lights and sealing your project, but these are the extra items we did include. And then we also have the paint list of the colors that I will use on Thursday nights to paint the pieces in the boxes. And that's just what the colors I'm using. You can feel free to use any colors you want. And then right at the bottom here we have brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com. That's where you can find our page. Then also usually on the back side of this little container, if there is a flyer available from the mold company, we purchase that and we include that in here. And sometimes there's more than one. It all depends what's on the flyer. Sometimes we have to get more. And then if you open this up, there can be other little goodies in here, so you do want to make sure you open this up. We'll set this aside in a second. So besides the flyer for our jingle, which is in our Jangle, I'm sorry, which is in this box. And then some people were also purchased Jingle and pepper mint sticks. And we do have 2 more boxes available that could ship tomorrow if anyone wants to get the boxes yet. So this box is Jangle, so this is the one we'll be working on. And then we couldn't get the Snowbird mold flyer, so we don't have that one. But here we also have the technique sheets for each piece. So this is Jangle. And here's the list of the colors that we used and the instructions. And then here is our 2 little snowbirds that are in the box. Now the mold company did not have the flyer for these, so we just have our instruction sheet. And again, we have the colors used, the mold number, and then our instructions. And then if you go a little deeper in our box, you'll find we have everything's all bundled up really nice. There would be extra wrapping paper in there, but we cut down on the noise, so we don't have that. So here we have our Jangle elf. And here we have our snowbird. And here we have another snowbird. And then here is our little package of goodies. Usually there's an extra package of goodies. It all depends what the box is for the month. And you always want to check your paper to make sure you don't throw anything out. We have had a couple things get thrown out. So I am going to find me a scissors here. Courtney's bringing me a scissors. So a razor blade, that works too. So you can see everything is packed really well. Let's get this guy open. So this is our box that we're going to be painting now for July. And we'll probably go over into our August box because there is a lot of detail. So this is one of our birds, but that's okay because our hedgehogs will paint up fairly easy. That's our next box. So these guys are all wrapped up really well, as you can see. So there's our pair of snowbirds. And then here is our big item, our Jangle elf. So in our 1 year of shipping, we were fortunate to have only one item break, and it was one of our Easter items. It was a stack of Easter eggs. So our customer let us know, and we sent her a new one right away. She sent us a picture to show it was broke, but Courtney says I'm going to jinx her. No, she does really well with our packing. So here's our Jangle elf. And then here are our 2 snowbirds that we will be painting. So that's all in your box. That's your main bisque. And then we have this little package of extras. And this month we do have a lot of extras. Not every month has this many extras. It depends upon the box. So we have our pin lights that will go in our tree. We have some brush on snow, no fire snow. And there's more than enough in there, so you'll have extra for another project. And then we have our glitter that'll go on top of the snow. And we do carry all these items on our Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, like our No Fire Snow and the Fire Snow. You can just go there and you can message Courtney if you wanted to go in the box. And then here is the clip light. That was one of the big extras in the box for this month, is the clip light with the light bulb. And that will fit in the back of your Jangle. And then our other big extra for this month is our number 5 flat dry brush by Artist Paintbrush. I can have it? Courtney says I can have it, so I'm not going to say no because I like those dry brushes. So here's our number 5 flat dry brush. And next month you will get the number 8. So now this is an extra add-on that we supply in the box as part of your $49.99. And these will have a sizing in them, so they're kind of stiff. So you just want to run your fingers through that and soften that up, unstiffen it, and then you can use it right away. Or you can wash it with a little bit of dish soap, Dawn dish soap and water, and then use it after it's dry. But you can just run your fingers through it, and then it's good to go.
Do you have a tablet?
Huh? Tablet's probably in the car yet. Sorry, in the car. Then we had an additional extra in some of our boxes, and that was for our ladies that have been subscribing with us since last July. And it's a brush holder. So I had this idea, and I had Jason, Courtney's boyfriend, has a machine that does this carving, so he custom made these for us. And so it's a brush holder, so when you're painting, you can lay your brushes in here. Say you're doing eyes and you're using this little brush and you're not quite done. You're going to switch colors maybe. You could lay that one in there. And then you wanted to switch to another brush to do maybe the blue part. You could lay that down in here with the... And then you want to go back to the black, then you can just grab it and your brushes aren't rolling all over your table, getting paint all over. So that was a special gift that was custom made for our ladies that took a chance with us last July. Not knowing that someone would really ship them a box for $49.99 and what they were going to get. So we appreciate you guys joining in with us. This is also made out of oak. You should be able to just wipe it clean. He does have a wax sealer on here. I do believe we have some ordered that we'll have on our Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com for sale as soon as he gets them made. But if you would like one of these, you can message us. I don't know do we have a price on these yet? We don't have the price on these yet, so we'll probably know more about them next week where he's at with them, because it takes a while for the machine to cut that out, and then he sands them and stains them and wax seals them and all that. But we will have these available, and if you wanted it to ship in your August box, you could just message us, and then Courtney will add that to her little invoice slip for you, and then you can have that. So that was for our ladies that joined us last July and took a chance on us. Being the first month and not having any reviews and not knowing what they're going to get. So we really appreciate you guys, and you've all stuck with us, so we thank you very much. So that is our Jangle in July box. So here we go. We'll put all our little extras aside because we're going to use them as we make our little pieces. And let's see, Courtney's got the tablet so I can see any notes that are questions that are coming up in your comments. So I'm going to try to go according to our instructions, just to help follow along with that. These are great if you're maybe you're camping or away from home and don't have internet service. You can take this with you, and you'd have instructions just as how I did it. It's just that it's typed out, and or if you don't want to wait for the videos each week, you can just go right by this. This is exclusive right now to our Bisque boxes. So it's a great little extra as well that we added this year. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. So we are going to base coat our piece black. And I was painting our hedgehogs. So I got to get some foil out here. And we'll show you the hedgehogs at the end of the night here, which will be our August box that we don't have a name for yet. And we will base coat and start from the beginning just because we do have a bunch of new people again. And base coating is just giving your entire piece a coat that we will dry brush on. You could also color wash him if you wanted, and color wash would be taking your base coat color and mixing it 50-50 paint to water, brushing it off, and then wiping it with a sponge. We do have videos with color washing on them. In particular, I know the December one, you can see that on that one. And if you go to our Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque on Facebook, underneath our picture, there will be a bar, and it'll say home, about, and then one of the tabs is videos. So if you click on videos, all our videos for the last year will come up, and you can always go back and watch any of our videos. They're available there for you guys as well. So we are going to base coat this guy black, and I just am going to use for base coating, and excuse me for my dirty fingers here, but like I said, I was painting our hedgehogs, so they look a little worse for the wear, but that's okay. We're going to use a nylon painting brush. Whenever you're base coating or painting something out, you want to use a nylon brush or a natural hair brush like a sable brush. The nylon brushes have kind of replaced the natural hair sable brushes, but the sable brushes are really nice if you have those. So this is about a size 8 because it's a bigger piece, and we're going to do the whole thing, so we don't want to use a little bitty brush like this. It would take us forever to cover our piece, so we're going to go with a larger size 8. This one is a size 8, but if you had something bigger, you can do that. And I'm going to start with my, we're using acrylic stains because this is based on mostly no fire techniques because a lot of you don't have access to other shops and kilns. So we have Duncan OS 476 black, and I'm going to shake that up a little bit, and I'm going to put a pile of black on my foil here, and you could use a tile or a styrofoam plate, whatever works for you. So let's see, I gotta look at see what we got for questions. Anybody? Paula loves her brush holder. Great. Huh? What? Yep, from day one. Yep. So it looks like we got just a lot of highs. So hi everyone. And we'll let you know more about the brush holders as soon as we hear back from Jason where we're at with those. So I just have my black on a piece of foil. Like I said, you could use a styrofoam plate or if you have a ceramic tile, that works really great too. And I actually dip my brush into my water because it's a good idea to get your bristles wet. That way your paint doesn't go up into the ferrule here. So I dipped it into the water and then I just touched it on my paper towel to get the excess out. And now I will dip it into my paint and just kind of load it up. And so you start at one area and work your way up and around. So I start wherever, it just doesn't matter, and you just brush back and forth, up and down, brush out your paint. Courtney's waving at me.
Connie says you used brown black on your instructions.
Base coat brown black on the entire piece. Yep, you're right. All right, so that's not a big deal. I'm going to scoop that back. So you could use the black too. I'm just used to using the black, but I think because of the skin color I use the black brown. So I'm just going to scoop this back into my container here. So I actually need to read the instructions and not just put them on the table, right guys? Alrighty. So I'm going to, yep, I was doing hedgehogs here, so my brain is on hedgehogs. So I just washed my brush out with my brush cleaning pad, and you can see it's nice and clean. So black brown. So let's back up a step and we're going to go to our OS 473 black brown, and we're going to just start over and that'll cover that up. And I use the black brown because he has flesh on him, and when I have flesh I like the black brown over the black. So that's the reason for doing the black brown, but you could use the black. You know, if you didn't have black brown you can use black. But I'm going to use the black brown just because of the flesh color, so it's not so dark in the crevices on the face. So we'll just paint right over our black, and I'm just going back and forth, up and down. Sometimes you got to do little up and down to get into the little crevices. So we just want to brush that out. We don't want any big puddles, like you wouldn't let that like that. That's just too much paint in one area. You want to actually brush that out nice, so it's nice and smooth. And as that dries, there's like a self-leveling agent in our ceramic paint that's basically levels out what you painted and takes the brush marks pretty much out, so that when you're dry brushing you don't see those brush marks even. So we got some comments. What's going on, Courtney? Huh? What's funny? Oh, way to test you to see if you're actually listening. Oh, there we go. Way to test us. Yeah, right? Okay. It's been a busy day already today, you guys. My great nephews came at 7 this morning, and we poured some stuff for them. They got to pour. They're 8 and 11. Or is he 12? Is Trenton 12 already? I think he's 11. The other niece is 12. So they came and they poured some mugs. And then they cleaned on one cleaned on a huge welcome Uncle Sam, and the 8-year-old has a large buck deer that he's working on, so he cleaned on the antlers while the mugs were setting up. And then we dumped those, and then we went outside and did some yard work. And then about 10:30 we came back in and took their molds apart, so that they could take their mugs home with them. And then we put those in front of the fan so they'd stiffen up a little bit, and then they cleaned on their greenware a little bit more. And then I had a kiln to unload and load and molds to take apart. And then I poured again before I came to Courtney's, and I had to box up what was in the kilns to bring to her because it's our hedgehogs. And what else? So oh, and then when I got to Courtney's, we had supper, and then I finished painting our hedgehogs so I can show you guys the hedgehogs at the end of the show here tonight. So it's actually been a pretty busy day, and the brain's probably just a little bit fried. But yeah, it was a good test, and you guys caught me, so good kudos to you guys. Thank you for letting us know we had the wrong color. So I'm just brushing back and forth, and I'm looking for any little white spots. Like here we have, and we call those fleas just because they're like annoying little things that pop up all over the place, just like fleas. So you want to look for all those little white spots, and you just want to dab and cover those up, because we want a nice solid coverage of our base coat color, and we want it brushed out really nice. We don't want ridges and puddles. And so you do want to take your time doing your base coating. So we'll just do that here quick tonight while we're getting started with our box. I hope you guys are enjoyed getting your box and all the extras in it, the anniversary gift, and those of you that have been with us for the last year, your extra anniversary gift. And we're looking forward to the next year and what we can do to keep improving this and keep offering you guys more stuff. So let's see, Courtney's coming to adjust things. So we're just going to brush this out and get him a nice base coat. So you can see you don't always have to use black for your base coat. It can be different colors. A lot of times when I'm doing snowmen, I'll use a navy blue or a darker blue or lavender, not lavender, purple, a deep turquoise, whatever color you kind of want to have coming through, that's what color you can base coat with. So now I did, a lot of you did get Jangle, I'm sorry, Jingle is the other one, and then peppermint sticks. And they're basically painted the same way as this one, just the colors are in different patterns on there. Like the little stockings got little stripes in them, so you can just look at the picture. I think, do we have a picture posted? Maybe we can make sure we have a picture posted for them to look at in the group if you wanted to paint them the same. Or you can paint them any way you want. I'd probably paint mine blue because I like blue, but we kind of went with the traditional Christmas red and green. So Courtney's digging them out so I can show them to you guys. So let me brush this out so I don't have any ridges anywhere, and then I'll show you the other two. We'll set that aside. So here is our Jangle all finished. He's got the snow and the glitter and the pin lights, and that was all extra in your box. And then the hole for the clip light, which was also extra. So he's looking all cute. And then to go with him, we also had Jangle, whose tree is on the other side. And he has a green hat where the other one has a red hat, green and white hat versus a red and green hat. And then the little stripes on his stockings are different, and then his little shoes are green and the other one is red. So you can kind of change them up however you want. It is basically the same colors, just in different patterns. And then we had Peppermint Sticks, who sits, and he has the red hat with the white band, and then kind of like the peppermint, I kind of kept him more pepperminty with red and white, and then his stockings are red and white too. So you can see you can do what?
Those are extra.
These were extra bisque pieces that you could purchase. We also had the snow and the extra pin lights, and so I think we still have some of these, right? If they want them, we do have.
Not a ton, but a couple.
We have
I think there's
three more sets left yet. So, and we have So there's 2 boxes left though to buy, because we have enough brushes for 2 boxes only. But we do have some extra bisque. But this was extra bisque that fit in the boxes that did ship for free. So that's kind of a nice extra too, that we cover the cost of the shipping on that as long as we can get it to fit in your boxes. And we try to come up with stuff that goes with the box. But if there's something like, we've had different people, oh, I want this or that, and if we can get it in the box for them and we have the molds, we pour it and send it on its way. And then Ray, Courtney's has your lamp boxed up. She's just going to be invoicing you. And then Lisa, right, for the campers.
Yep.
She has, they're sitting on the table. She'll be boxing those up and getting those to you too. So look for an invoice for those coming.
And I should be caught up on shipping.
Huh?
I should be caught up on shipping.
And then Courtney says she is caught up on shipping and orders. So watch for your invoice probably tomorrow for those 2 things, Ray and Lisa. And thank you for your orders.
If you're expecting something from us, send a message.
If you thought, if we were supposed to send you something, and you haven't gotten it, let us know, because we may have missed you, but right now those are our only 2 orders that should be outstanding.
We should be caught up.
I do have an order that's for August, but that's a whole different thing. That's a local lady, so that's not something we'd be shipping. And
We should be caught up.
but otherwise we should be caught up on, we see the scrubby holders are shipped, the ornaments are shipped, all that kind of stuff. So everyone should have what you ordered, but if you don't, let us know, because then we may have missed you. Because sometimes when if you post on a post, like a picture with the feed, if you comment on that, sometimes those get pushed really far down in and we never see those. So it's better if you actually send us a message on Facebook, because then Courtney, and she may not open it right away, but she'll see it, because she may not be at a computer, but once she's at the computer, she will open it and then write it down on the flow sheet on the computer. Then she knows that it's open and she has it written down. So if she's not at the computer, it may not get opened right away. Because if she's not at the computer and she can't write it down, then we could end up missing you too. But it's really better if you can message us for any orders instead of commenting on the post. I mean, it's probably okay, like on in the Bisque box group, it's okay. Like now she's posting the 12 days of Christmas. I mean, if you're posting that you want that on that post, that's okay, because she can follow that. It's in our Bisque group and not on a different group on a different page. So hopefully that helps explain that too a little bit.
They just get lost.
Otherwise, yep, they get lost, and sometimes we never see them because they just get pushed down in the feed and you just don't see them. So now when you're doing your tree, you want to get inside those little pin light holes a little bit, because you don't want to see that white coming through once the pin light is in there. And now the tree has a lot of little texture on the underside of the branches here, so you want to make sure you're turning your piece and looking at different angles. Like even his button here, there's still little fleas coming through. So you want to look at your piece from all different angles so you get all them little white spots gone. And I'm just dabbing up and down to get in them. I'm not necessarily brushing back and forth. It's more of a dab up and down to get into all that detail that's on that tree. And then you can brush it out too. So you can see all these little white spots that have come through now. And I do like to show this because we always do have new subscribers every month. And some of you are completely new, so if I say to base coat your piece, you may not know what that means or entails, so I do want to show you how to do that, because that's what we're here for. And then another important thing is to always base coat your bottom, so you want to brush that out on there as well. And then I usually go just inside the lip, that's the thickness of my piece, and get that, because it just makes your piece look more finished and professional. And then you just want to brush that out. And then when you're doing your bottoms, you want to get your side again in case any paint went up onto the sides, so it's not collected there. You want to brush that out too. we're working hard at getting our August box ready. We're ordering some more supplies, the bubble wrap and paper. We're looking at molds for the rest of the year. We do have October's and no September's molds, but we don't have October's. We have August and September's. So we have to get October, November, and December's ordered. So we're looking at that. So we're just gonna brush this out and just keep working our way around. And like I said, if you want to paint your little guy blue or green or whatever, you do not have to paint him red the way I painted him. That's just how the sample was done, and that's just how we paint them then on our Thursday night lives. So we have had a couple of questions about what is the Bisque box. The Bisque box is a monthly box of ceramic bisque. It can contain, we kind of started with the 3 to 5 pieces, however, October's only going to have 2 because we went with a bigger piece. The bisque pieces are based on a dollar value, not so much how many pieces are in it, but of a dollar value. They have to meet a dollar value that we have in the budget for the box. So that October box has a little bit bigger of a piece, so we only could offer 2 pieces instead of 3. So it'll basically be 2 to 5, and we'll be redoing a new video probably next week about the boxes. Nothing's changing with the boxes other than really the instead of 3 to 5, it's going to be 2 to 5, so that we can offer some bigger pieces. We have some people that do like the bigger pieces if they have eye trouble for seeing the little detailed pieces or whatever, but it's just nicer to offer some bigger pieces and not just little pieces. So we can go a little bit bigger. So we'll do the 2 to 5 pieces of bisque will basically be the budget for, that's usually about what it takes to get that budget amount that we have planned for the boxes. And then there's usually a big extra in the box that we include, which was the paintbrushes are from our May through December box right now. And then if your piece requires other little extras like the little pin lights, the little glitter, whatever it is that we're using to finish off the piece other than the paint and the sealer, we do try to include those items. We did add in January the technique sheet, so that was a new addition to the box. And now being able to ship the extra supplies and us covering the shipping on them, that's kind of a new thing too after the box was created, because we just it fits in the budget and we can do it, and it gets you guys extra stuff, and it's extra value to the box. So that's just a super way to offer more services. And then as part of the box, we paint what was in the box usually the week after it ships, so that everyone gets their boxes. We'll start on that Thursday like we're starting tonight. Normally we probably would have started last week, but our last box had a lot of detail in it, so it went over, which is okay, because it just shipping's a little delayed, and it still works out really well time wise, but basically it's usually the week after the boxes go out. It kind of depends when the box goes out in the week too. And then we paint usually for 4 weeks, sometimes 5, to get the box painted on Thursday nights. And then those videos are also saved on the Facebook page and on the YouTube. And when Courtney has time, she kind of needs to get caught up on getting those posted, uploaded there. So they're always available to you. They're free. They're part of the subscription box service. You can follow along when we're painting, and you can ask questions. Courtney kind of watches the feed and tells me if there's a question, and then we'll try to answer your questions. Some people will message me, and I still try to answer your questions. Sometimes it can be delayed a little bit if we're moving molds or whatever's going on, because you never know what I get myself into. Huh?
We moved molds this
Yep, so Cordy says, like Tuesday we moved all the molds that we got from Somerset, like 3 weeks ago. The road was blocked and we couldn't get into the storage unit, so we took them to some good friends, let us take it to their garage. They were quite generous, and we were quite grateful that we could do that, because it was 8 o'clock at night and we have a U-Haul load of molds and nowhere to go with them. So Tuesday, we moved those to the storage shed. They're just on pallets, but we do need to get them logged and on the shelves where they go. So we never know what we're getting ourselves into, but we do try to answer everyone's message close to daily. Not always, but most of the time. Our Bisque that's listed on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com is Bisque that's available to ship and would ship right away. You won't have to wait for it to be poured and made. So that's another benefit. If it's not available to be shipped, Cordy either takes it down or it has sold out on it if it happens before she gets to see it. So that's another advantage. You don't have to wait. If you see it, it's on there and you can purchase it. It ships. We have about 5,000 molds, so you can order pieces if we have them. I'm a little bit behind on pouring yet because I was working full time. And we're getting caught up a little bit, believe it or not, because I brought Bisque to Courtney that usually I'm bringing the day before we have to ship. So
It's a week before. 2 weeks before.
yeah, it's about 10 days before actually having to box it. So that's like a huge improvement. I brought 60 of each Hedgehogs that she can get bubble wrapped without having to do it the night before we have to box them up. So we did make some progress this month. And the next will be getting caught up on orders. So I have a couple painted orders to get done. I'm kind of limiting the amount of painted orders until we do get caught up here some more. But if you were a customer before and got painted things from me, I am trying to meet that need. So we're squeezing it in, but there's still a little bit of a time lag there. So like I had an order for a first grandson's piggy bank, and normally it probably would be 2 weeks, but it's going to be more like 4 to 6 weeks because we do have more molds to move yet, and we have to get the ones we moved off the pallet so we have room for the next batch. We have 2 U-Haul loads to get moved yet.
I don't know where they're going.
Cordy says she don't know where they're going. Well, we'll get them in there. It's just a matter of getting the rest of them on the shelves and off the pallets.
Kathleen asked if they can still order if this is sold out. If it's Bisque, yeah, you'll just have to pour it.
So Cordy says, Kathleen asked, can you still order if it's sold out? If it's a Bisque box,
No.
you may not be able to. The reason that it would be sold out is because we purchased those extra items months ago, and we may not be able to get them. We could possibly pour just the Bisque. That's for the subscription boxes. So like I think, is July sold out?
I have 2.
Does it show sold out though?
I think I fixed it.
We do have 2 of the July boxes available yet.
She has the July box.
Cordy says you
And
have the
she's
July
asking
box. So
about the
Cordy thinks you're asking. So if it's just about Bisque, say it's, I don't know what could it be? Maybe the 2 Nomis or something. If it says sold out, you can just message us and let us know what you want, and then I'll get it poured and cleaned and fired, and it could probably ship in your August box if it fits in there. So it's just a matter of letting us know, and I'll pull it and get it poured and cleaned and fired.
If it's too close to this box, we'll go in the next box.
You know, if we know soon enough, like now it's soon enough. But if it's like the day before that big box is going out, that wouldn't be soon enough because it would have to go in the next box because it would be wet and it would have to dry and get cleaned and fired.
That's what she was asking.
So yep. So if something is sold out, just let us know and I can pull it and get it poured, and just send us a message what you want, and we should be able to get it in the August box as long as it fits, because I'll have time to get it poured yet.
Same with if they see it on your mold list.
So on our Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com, there's Courtney has a mold catalog list on there. Everything's not on there because we don't have about half of them on there right now because we just got like 2 shops worth this year, since this spring, and those aren't logged yet and on there because they're sitting on pallets, and we have to be able to find them. So they go on a shelf, and each shelf has a location, and once they get on that location, then she can get them on there. But if you're looking for something in particular, you can let us know. They are kind of grouped. Some of them are grouped by animals, Christmas. You know, if you're looking for something, I pretty much know what we have.
The spreadsheet's by alphabetical manufacturer.
We do have so she has the spreadsheet that's the mold catalog online. It's by the manufacturer. You can look by manufacturer. That would be the only thing you need to know who the manufacturer is.
You can do Control F to search.
And Cordy says you could do Control F to search, and you could like type in the word deer, and then all our deer molds would come up that are logged. We probably have more than what's coming up because like I said, we've gotten 2 shops since then. So, but if you message us, I pretty much know what we kind of have overall. I may not know the exact location of it. That may be more of an issue than.
Jack's arm.
Huh?
Jack's arm.
Yeah, because like Jack's arm, Jack the Snowman, his arm has been missing since last winter because we moved the shop, what was in the garage, into the house, and I don't know where I stuck him, and I can't find his arm. But I did order a plain arm for him. Instead of the waving arm, he's got an arm with a snowball. So he does have another arm. He just won't have the waving arm until we come across his waving arm, because I have no idea where that bugger went. And that happens once in a while when you're moving things from one area to another. So we do have lots. I mean, we have a good variety. We have snowmen and penguins and Christmas and Halloween and lots of animals. Lots of the outdoor animals, the raccoons and the skunks and the squirrels and the chipmunks and the deer and all that kind of stuff. All kinds of good stuff. So I'm just brushing back and forth. We're just base coating our guy, and I just want to make sure my new people know how to do it. And you're just basically just keep going over it, because you can see all them little white fleas. They just tend to show up. You think you have them covered, but once that paint dries, there's always some there. So, but if so, back we were talking about the Bisque box. So the Bisque box works that it has that 2 to 5 pieces of bisque, and it has to be worth a certain value. The shipping is worth a certain value. The extras in the box have to meet a certain value.
Your value stays consistent.
So it's fairly consistent. We try to be right on with it. If anything, we will go over budget versus under budget. So Courtney's going, oh yeah, she's making faces at me.
All the time.
So you will be over budget. We'll be over budget before we will be under budget. I can tell you that much. I'd rather you get your money's worth and be happy and keep everyone as customers, and so you won't be cheated on the budget part as far as what the Bisque is supposed to, what we have budgeted, and the extras and all that good stuff. So then you can go onto Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque and purchase the subscription. And then so if you did that today, your first box would be your August box, and it would already be paid for then, because you have to pay for it. And that's also the only thing you can purchase. When you do the subscription, you can only purchase the subscription. You can't have like paint and stuff in your cart. You only can do the subscription. So then you pay for it, and then Cordy adds you to our list. And then on this part's the hard part to explain, because they're not going to get an invoice on the 1st of the month, because they already paid the new people.
Yeah,
So the very first month you will not get a invoice.
when you check out on
The first month when you checked out on the website, because you already paid for it, but Cordy does have you down. So then if it's like your second month, on the 1st you would get a invoice in your email saying you have the subscription box to pay for by the 4th of that month at midnight Central Time, because we're in Central Time. And then on the 5th of the month and the 6th is when we go through putting everybody's things, because a lot of people get extra stuff, paint and sealer and maybe the brush on glitter or pin lights or whatever it is. Courtney has that all on her little spreadsheet, and we go through and we box up everybody's boxes. They get weighed, and then they go to the post office and ship on the 5th and the 6th. And then you get an email with a tracking number. It goes by priority mail. So there's insurance on it as well. You can click on that tracking number at any time and go see where your package is at. So we have seen with the COVID going on, there are delays in shipping. Stuff that took a couple days is taking longer.
There was like 8 boxes that took over a week.
So Courtney said we had 8 boxes that took over a week, and some of those hot spots are Michigan, Texas, and Florida especially.
Where they just sit and they sit to the post
You know, she can click on that. She has that tracking number too, so she can click on it too, and she can see where your box is sitting or what they've done with it. But you can do the same thing and see where your box is at, so you're not wondering. And if maybe it gets to be a week and you are wondering, you can't find nothing, I mean, you can send us a message and she'll investigate it too. But otherwise, you can just click on that tracking number just like she would, and you can see right where your box is shipping. They were shipping probably within 5 days, but we're out to probably 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, some people got them right away, but others just sat.
So, you know, if it's in the mail system, I mean, there's not too much, we can't make it go faster than what they make it move. So that's the only bad thing right now is with shipping is kind of a delay. So you got to be patient. But otherwise, then the following month, if that was your first month, on the 1st you would get your invoice that you owe $49.99, and then you pay it, and then you get your email that we boxed it up and shipped it on the 5th or the 6th, and that'll have the tracking number in it. You can see right where your package is. If you know you want to add stuff to your box, try to let us know that before the 4th. That way Courtney, or actually before the 1st, because then Courtney can add it when she makes your invoice up instead of going back and editing. But you know, if you happen to see something at the last minute, you can let us know, and if it's not boxed up, she can add it. But it's better if we can add it before the 5th, because she'll put it on her spreadsheet, and then when she makes out everybody's invoice, she just goes through the list and checks it off and adds it on, and then you pay your bill, and we box up your stuff and send it on its way. Everyone's been really happy with everything as far as I know. We get lots of great comments that, you know, I'm happy, I'm thrilled, I can't believe it. The bisque is clean, super nice. All kinds of great comments. I can't even tell you how many. So that's really nice to hear, because we do try to do an extra good job with our bisque, carving all the detail back into the pieces. No big air holes. Maybe you may get one pinhole. One pinhole is allowed. That's probably less than half of the size of a grain of salt on the bottom. It wouldn't be on the face or anything like that. But basically, perfect, as close to perfect bisque as you can get. It's also all fired to cone 04. So say you didn't want to do acrylics, no fired stuff on this, and you wanted to do like the 1-strokes or easy strokes and glaze fire it, you can do that, because we do fire everything to cone 04. So that should never be an issue either. So now I'm just going and checking my base coating here and making sure I don't have any little white spots, because there's still a couple popping up once in a while. So that's pretty much how the bisque box works. It's basically non-fired ways of finishing things. We've done crackle finishes, we've done marble finishes, we've done ombre finishes, we've done, what else, Courtney? Metallic rub-ons, a little bit of chalks. I do try to mix it up a little bit, so it's not all just painting, not all just dry brushing. I mean, you could go back now. I mean, now we have the history there because we've been here for a year. So you can go back at the videos and see the things that we've done over the year. It's been a pretty good variety. I kind of try to do a different variety. Each month does have a different theme. We try to do the holidays the month before so that you get your box and you can have it painted before that holiday. So for example, September we will be doing a Halloween themed box so that when October gets here you can have your Halloween pieces out. And actually this year's Halloween box is kind of a build on last year's. Last year's we did Mr. and Mrs. Frankenstein. And this year we're added to it. So if you weren't a boxer last year, you'll actually be able to add Mr. and Mrs. Frankenstein, as well as there's another little witch girl that kind of goes with that could be extra bisque that you could add to that box too. So we try to just add different things. We also have the Halloween gnomes that Clay Magic just came out with the little pumpkins, so those would be little extra bisques that would fit in that box as well.
You don't have that mold yet, so.
We're waiting to get that mold. I guess Clay Magic is behind on pouring, so hopefully that gets here soon. We have to pick that up at Marcella's, and right, that's at Marcella's. That's one of those, right? Yeah. So we're just trying to add extra things to the box that, as long as you guys pay for it, we cover the shipping as long as it fits in there, so that gives you guys more stuff to paint with too. So I'm just checking this little guy over and making sure I don't see any little white spots anywhere, and then there's just one here and there yet, because that will show through once we get to dry brushing, and we don't want that. One of the boxes was a mushroom, and we did glaze the inside of the mushroom so it could go outside without problem. So that glazing, the cost of that and firing it, that was like part of the extra that was in that for that box. So we try to be creative and work different things into the boxes. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that, and we'll keep trying to do that as well. So let's see, just checking him over one more time, looking at him from different angles to make sure that we don't have no little white spots here anywhere. So you want to always look at your piece from different angles, because there could be a white spot, and sometimes they're just tiny, especially like in the arms here and underneath these little tree branches. So he's looking pretty good. So I guess if you guys have any questions about the Bisque box, just send a message, or you can post right here on the feed. So there we go. He's looking pretty good. Oh, I still see some little white spots here again. I gotta get those covered. I need a little more paint. We do try to get molds from different companies for the Bisque boxes. We've used Noel molds for the Christmas tree box. We used Riverview molds for the bird box. We're going to be ordering from Evans Ceramic Supply, and they carry Donna's, Starlight, Scioto, I think some Kimples, some Old Dock Holidays. So we'll be getting some other molds mixed in here too, so it's not all Clay Magic. Just give you guys kind of a variety. And spread the, fun around to everybody. I do know that October and November will be Clay Magic.
And I think it'll be Donna.
And then we'll have to figure out what December, January, February, March will be. They'll likely be from Evans, where we can get the other companies, even though they're out of business, like Donna's and Kimple and Scioto. They have the masters and can pour us new molds, so that's a huge benefit, because we need several of one mold to pour these, so we can't just go and use used molds. We use brand new molds so that the texture and the detail in your pieces is quality. So do know that we do use new molds for our bisque box. Like the single bisque pieces, the different things that are on Brenda's brushstrokes and bisque, maybe like the egg pressions, or let me see, there's a Halloween piece. Those could be from used molds that we bought from other ceramic shops, but we're only pouring a few pieces of those, so, and as long as the detail is good, we can use those, but we could never use those for the bisque box because we can't pour enough from one mold and have good enough detail that it's acceptable to ship them in your boxes. So do know that all our bisque box subscriptions are brand new molds, so that's something else too. That's a big plus. Alrighty, so I think every time I look, I see another white spot here. They're kind of annoying, kind of like mosquitoes. Courtney asked if I camped at all. I only camped one time. Yeah. I was gonna camp like twice other times, but it was like 90 degrees, and it's like, I'm not camping when it's 90 degrees. Sorry. Huh? I have air, but I wanted to sit outside and clean greenware, and it's too hot to sit outside and clean greenware. I guess the deer flies are really bad too. So we got our little guy all nice and coated with our black brown, and I'm still seeing a couple little white spots here. He's hanging on hard. Alrighty, so I'm gonna wash my brush out. I have a Harold's brush cleaning pad in my water, and you can see how dirty it is. That really, you just gently rub back and forth on that, and that really cleans your brushes up. You always want to clean your brushes up really well when you're done painting with them. So you can see he's nice and clean. And then I usually take that and just tap it on my paper towel, kind of get it back into a nice point. And then I will just lay it horizontally and let it dry. So that's a good way to clean your brushes. So now we have number 2. We want to dry brush our flesh areas with peach fuzz. So let's see, where is my peach fuzz, and what time do we got, Courtney?
8.
I don't see peach fuzz.
Oh, it's not there.
It's not there, you gotta grab it. Is that a new color? Courtney's got to grab me some peach fuzz, you guys, so hold on tight. So let me look and see if anyone has questions. Pam says, what's the price of the boxes? The boxes are $49.99, and that includes first class priority shipping along with your insurance and tracking number. Let's see. Paula says, the detail in your pieces are amazing. Thank you, Paula. I always take the time to carve any details back in that, especially where the seam lines were or anything else that we noticed. Tammy says, I'm waiting anxiously the truck insert modification pick and toppers. Tammy, I posted a picture of the planter with the bottom of the planter cut off. I left a little bit of a lip on there so that it doesn't slide off the truck. So let me know if that's what you had in mind. It's on the post that we've been posting back and forth on. There's a picture of that truck topper on there. If you don't see it, I can message it to you when we get done. So let's see what else do we have. Rufus says it's too hot. Yes, it is. It's actually yesterday and today were really nice. We were like in 80, 82, but by the weekend we're supposed to be back up to 90. So Tammy says top-notch quality too. Yes, thank you. We really strive at that, like, because I will clean things and fire them and look at them, and then when I bring them to Courtney, she looks at them again, and she has completely different eyes than I do. So she does send stuff back home with me. So yes, indeed. Courtney says they don't all make the cut. No, they don't. Because sometimes you can fire something and maybe a little air bubble like comes through them because the clay was really thin. Or like like when I'm cleaning, I focus on the seam lines, but she may see, like this little guy, he liked to have a little notch right here when he came out of the mold, and I didn't notice that, but her being with fresh eyes and not really a cleaner, she noticed that right away. So then she'll tell me, you got to watch this spot right here because that likes to get caught on there. So yep, we do try to make sure that our bisque is top quality, you guys. So let's see, Tammy's gonna check it out. I posted it about let me see, I got to Courtney's at 4, so I probably posted it about 4:30. So hopefully, Tammy, you can find that picture. If you don't, let me know and we'll I'll send you a picture. Courtney's doing What's New Wednesday next week. We do have the Christmas in July sale going on for a few more through the rest of the month.
They'll take us right to the 31st.
She says it'll take us right to the 31st. So even if you've seen, say, like, I don't know, two days ago she had the clip lights. If you, at the end of the month, if you want the clip light added to your invoice, just send us a message and she can add it to the invoice. Any of the things that are on sale.
The sale prices are good through the end of the month.
So she says the sale prices are good through the end of the month, so I guess that explains it better.
But I might
So,
sell out of some.
although we could sell out, like, I think the metallics or the pearlescent sold out yesterday,
Yeah.
but she does have a back order list going, so,
Yeah, we have a supply order in.
because we are sending a supply order in, so as long as they have them, we'll try to get them. So, hopefully that helps out with some of that stuff. What else do we got going on? Huh?
Someone asked if we had a shop.
So Cordy said someone asked if we have a shop. I currently do not have a commercial location. However, we are renting a farmhouse beginning in September.
The day after
Labor Day weekend at some point there, but we'll probably have to do a little cleaning, and I don't know if we're going to paint or not, but get set up. We will do, hopefully I can do a class day and then by appointment. That's where we're going to start with because of the COVID stuff. It's kind of picking up around this area a little bit, so I'm not sure where that's going to take us. But we hope to have greenware and bisque and paint and brushes and supplies, so you could message us and I can make an appointment and we can meet you there. So, and that would be in the Shawano, Wisconsin area, about 4 miles from Shawano. It will be like southeast, I believe it is. So we're looking forward to that. And then we hope to grow on that, so that'll be even better. But that'll take a little bit of time. So now we have our OS 492, which is Peach Fuzz. And I think this one used to be called Angel Flesh. So if you have Angel Flesh, it should be the same as Peach Fuzz, which is, they just renamed it as all. And it's a nice, nice fleshy color. So we're going to shake that up a little bit. And we're going to put a little bit on our palette. And now he's got a pretty good size area, so we don't need a real tiny brush. Let's see, what do I want? You can look at your brushes and think that, oh, that's the right one, and then you think, oh no, I want this one or that one, and let's see, we're gonna go with about a size, you can use like a size 3 or 5 dry brush. And a dry brush is usually a hog or boar bristle brush. They're usually white bristles. Some can be softer or stiffer than others. It kind of depends upon the brand. I like the artist paintbrush that we carry, and that's on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, but this is also the brushes. This would have been in your Bisque box last month as your extra brush. So he's not too big and he's not too small, so we'll start with that one. You wouldn't want to start with a really big one like this on your flesh areas because you would have your flesh everywheres. And to go with that, you wouldn't want to start with a really small one like this because it would take you forever. So we're just going to kind of go in between, and we're going to take our brush and just put it into the edge of our Peach Fuzz and get it on our brush, and then we're going to brush that out on our paper towel so our brush is basically dry, but there is actually color remaining in there. And now you want to brush back and forth or up and down or across any texture. So his little nose has texture or an indent or a crevice where the nose meets the face, and you want to go across that so you leave your dark brown in that crevice, and that's going to create shading for your piece. Same with your mouth, you want to go across it. If you go with it, you're going to get that Peach Fuzz down in that crevice of his mouth, and you're going to lose your shading. So you always want to go across any of your textures. So where it's just a bigger flat area, it doesn't matter which way you go. You can go anyway. But now when I get to his mouth, I want to go across his little grin. And then where his mouth is, I want to go up and down. And I'm just doing like, I don't know, 1-inch strokes, I guess you could say. Where his eyes are, again, you want to go across them, but you can go, don't worry about painting them in, because we'll paint those black later. We'll paint out our eyes later. And now we have our, where our hat is meeting our face, again, we want to go across that. And where his hair is coming onto his face. And don't worry about getting it on his hair, because we'll touch that all up later. Then we have his little ear. You're going to just brush back and forth. And I'm going across the indent on the inside of his ear. And you just do a nice light coat. And you start at one area. So I basically started here, and I'm going to work my way over to the other side. So that was a little heavy. I'm going to brush my brush out. Your color should be going on really light, and then you just keep building that color up. And so I want to come into his, you can see that his little face comes back into his hair, so I'm going to go across that just as far back as what the face is going into the hair. And we're going to come right down to where his neck meets his little shirt, and again, you want to go across it, you don't want to go with it. And that will let our shading down in that crevice down there. And it's okay if you get it on the shirt. We'll be taking care of that when we get to the shirt. So now we got this nice big area here. I can brush back and forth. Go across his nose. And we do want to turn and get the back of his ear here. Again, I'm going across the little crevice that's between the hat and the ear, because I don't want to fill that in with my flesh color. I want to keep that shadow down in there, and that shadowing, and that's way too wet, so I got to brush that out. If you're putting on that much paint at once, you're doing more of a wet brush and not a dry brush, and we really don't want to do that. We want to build up our layers nice and slow here. And you can turn him whatever way you need to turn him to be able to paint him. And you do have to turn him to like get in those little crevices in the front of his ear. So let's see, if we've got any questions going on. So Helen says, is there a girl elf to match him? No, but you know what? That's a really great idea. You could go on Clay Magic's page, Helen, and suggest that. They're actually very open to suggestions. That's a good suggestion to have a girl elf. So again, I'm over here by his tree and his shirt, and I'm going across where the face and the tree meet, so we're not filling in that texture. And then we're just going to keep brushing this out. Go across his little face and his little dimple. So you can see I started on one side and I'm working my way over, because now this will be drying on this other side, and once we get to where we haven't been yet, we can get that done and then go back to where we started, and that'll be dry over there then at that point. So you could put this peach fuzz on his hands. Again, you're going to go across his little fingers so you don't fill in the shadows in between there. And you want to turn him and do the back. And you just grab a little bit of paint at a time and brush it out on your paper towel or your brown paper bag or your coffee filter or your t-shirt, whatever it is you're using. I just use the paper towel. And you can see we just build that up. We're going to turn him and go over here to his little fingers over here. Again, I'm going across any crevices. And sometimes you got to change, because like here we got the tips of his fingers and here we have the sides. So we got to go both directions. Come right down onto his shirt. Don't worry about getting it on his shirt, because that'll all get covered up eventually. And we're just gonna work our way around. Let's see, what does Helen says? You're showing us a lot of good tips with shading tonight. Great, that's what we're trying to do. Just be helpful and learn away. So again, I'm going across, even though I'm getting it on his little cuff and on his belly, that's okay. We want to get the flesh color on there, and the reason I'm doing the flesh color first is because, for instance, his hand, the hand itself is lower than the sleeve and the shirt and the shirt here. If I would start with the shirt first and then go back and do the hand, all my hand color would be on his shirt. So I'm doing the lowest area. That's the reason we're doing our flesh first. Not that it's the lightest color, but it's the lowest area on this piece, for example, in that area right there. And even on his face, the flesh is lower than his hair and his hat and the tree. Because like the tree is higher up where it meets his face. And then his face is higher up than where his shirt meets. So that's why we're doing this lower area first. It didn't have anything to do with the fact that it's a lighter color, but that it's a lower area. So that when we dry brush our shirt and then come back, if we would then do the hand, all our hand color would be on our shirt, just like it is right now. So if we do our lower area first, and then we're careful with our shirt part, we won't get the shirt color on the hand. And last week we kind of showed you how to do that when we did the gnomes. You do those little brush strokes to nudge it right up to the hand, and that's what we will do there. So now we have basically all his little flesh with their little first coat of color. Now we got to get his little ear here yet. So now here the ear is kind of higher than the tree, but overall his flesh is lower in most of the other areas, so we will just do all of his little flesh areas. And again, going across any crevices, so you can keep that shading down in those crevices. And as you can see, I'll show you the other one. This is where we're at, but this is where we're going. There will be very little of the black-brown showing through our flesh, but it is in our crevices, like in his ear here, along the here, in his mouth, where his shirt meets, or up here by the tree. So we do have a long ways to go with that. So if you guys want to work on that all week, you can go ahead and work on your flesh, and you just keep building it up until you get it the shade of flesh that you want it, which is it's pretty fleshy. There's not much brown showing through. The brown is just in your crevices, really. That was one of the hardest parts for me to learn, was how much to do, and I never seemed to be doing enough. Like this would be where I thought I was done, and probably half of the black brown is still showing through my flesh, and that's too much. We don't want that. We only want our black brown down in our crevices for the shading. So you just have to keep building that up, and you can't do it all at one time. You just got to keep working your way around, and then let this dry, and then work your way around and come back over here. It'll be dry, and it'll take more flesh again. So it's just kind of a slow process, but the results are really nice. It's very natural and real looking. So just keep at it. If you get sick of it, just quit for a while and maybe come back the next day or a couple hours later. That usually works really well. Just start out fresh again. So that's kind of how you're going to do your face, and you're just going to keep building up this color until you get it the shade of flesh that you want it.
Did you dry brush his hair, hat, jacket, and like everything?
So Cordy asked if I dry brushed his hair, his hat, and everything. Yes, everything's been dry brushed. Okay. Yep. It's just a matter of how much you dry brush it. A lot of people don't dry brush quite enough. They let too much of the dark undercolor showing through, and you really just want that dark undercolor in your crevices. So we'll just, I think we're probably getting close to time, and I want to show you guys the hedgehogs yet for our August box. So Cordy says it's quarter after, so I'll just brush this out, and if you want, you can keep going until you get them the color that you want, or you can hold on till next week. I will start where I left off just so you can see how it just keeps building up. I think it's important to show you kind of more step by step. I mean, I could start with him completely flesh colored, but I think it's more important to see how it goes to get to the point of where it needs to be at. Because it does take quite a bit of dry brushing to get it to that point. And it's getting there, it's just that it takes time. But you can see the brown is staying down in his crevices and in his little indents, and that's really what you want. And don't forget to do his hands. And you just keep going the same way, you just keep brushing across any crevices or indents or texture. And that will leave it down, that shading color down in those crevices. So we'll show you the other one again. You can see he's got a long ways to go. But you just take your time and it slowly builds up. So you can see he's looking spotty now, but as you keep going, that will go away. That's just telling you that it's not done. It's not where it needs to be. It needs more color. So we'll put him aside. And then our kind of a little surprise, kind of show and tell, is our Bisque painted for our August box. And for that, it's our Hedgehog box, which we haven't given a name yet. We have the larger Hedgehog that kind of looks like the mother. And we'll actually be doing the eyes. Each one has their eyes done differently, as well as their nose. So we have the one with his little belly up. I call him belly up. And then we have our little one that's standing. And then we have kind of the mama one. So to go with, these are the 3 pieces of bisque you'll be getting. You'll be getting a number 10. I think I have one here, hold on. Or number 8. That's a 5. Number 8, I don't have an 8 yet. No, I don't have an 8. I thought I had a full set. I don't have an 8 in here though. So you will be getting a number 8. It'll be a little bigger than this one, so you'll be getting a number 8 dry brush in this box. You will also be getting a little container of gloss brush on sealer that we will put on the eyes, the nose, and then these little guys have little toenails. We'll brush that on there. So our Cordy was saying that the extra brush, the size 8, is an $8 value. So that's a pretty big value for your extra. So there aren't a ton of extras. Like, yeah, Cordy says I'm way over budget. Well, we were last month too. So again, we were over budget because you had the clip light and the pin lights and the glitter. These guys don't need all that. So you will have this size 8 flat dry brush. You'll have some brush on clear gloss sealer that we'll put on the nose, the eyes, and then I didn't do toenails on him. I'll have to do that, and on the little toenails. But then I'm also going to work on a flyer similar to this, but it will be a basic eye flyer. It will be Jingle's eye, actually, or that I have a piggy bank mold eye video on Facebook and on YouTube, and it will be that eye, and it'll be a step-by-step picture. And I think we're gonna check in and to see if we can get it laminated as well. We have to check on the price of that yet. So you will have, it'll be on cardstock, so it'll be stiff even if it's not laminated. But it will be and you'll still get your instruction sheet like this too, but it will be an eye flyer type handout for the basic eye that I use on a lot of things. Let me see if I can show you. We don't have the piggy bank here. So this is Jangle, and this is his eye. It's just the black, the white, and then the medium blue. So it will be an eye tutorial handout with that eye on it, just a basic eye.
I'll put the link.
Cordy will put the link for what the video. So yeah, it's I used the piggy bank because it had a big eye that I painted, but I will do a paper handout, just like our other tutorials for our technique sheets, and that will be the extra in this box as well. There are 2 or 3 new colors. I don't remember. Was it 2 or 3? 3. Saddle brown we did use last fall, but that was when we had a lot less subscribers, and so a lot of you may still need that. And then rosy tan is the other one. Yeah, it's in my bin. So there are 3 possible new colors, 2 for sure. Yeah. But a lot of you may need that 3rd one because a lot of you have joined since then. So they're just dry brushed, and we put a little pink chalk on them. So we had our chalk in our March box. So we'll be using our chalk on our cheeks from our March box. We'll be putting and it's on sale if you don't have it, and that could ship for free in the box as well. Then we'll be using the gloss sealer on the eyes, and we'll be doing 3 different little eyes.
She'd be fine if her pieces came with the eyes painted.
Paula wants her eyes painted. Well, I think if we do this, these guys are really simple eyes, you guys. They're just black, and then they have like the little comma and the dot. This one has the comma with the dot, and then another little dot on the corner. And then this guy has the little X in it. But I will do, we're going to do a little flyer handout. It's very simple for eyes, for a very simple eye that you can do with a lot of things. And that will be exclusive to the Bisque box. So if you're a subscriber, you can look for that as the extra, as well as your number 8 brush, and then that brush on sealer. And then your handout will come with it. So that's kind of our August box. And Courtney will take these pictures of this and get it posted. I think we have to...
We will have a pre-order for one-time purchases.
So you can subscribe. If you sign up as a subscription, you'll automatically get every box then after that. If you're going to be a one-time purchaser and only want this box, she'll get that created and posted.
We'll have a few leftovers.
So there could be a few leftovers. So that's these guys. And then if there's any bisque, like the truck tops or the trucks or whatever fits in the box with these, there will be room.
Yeah.
You can just send us a message and we can get those in there. But these guys are really cute. Anybody that's seen these has really loved them. So they're cute. So Courtney says even one of the trucks will fit with these guys. So they're really cute. They got the little pink chalk on their face. This one's got him on his little feet. Once you get the little brush on gloss, and I just didn't have time because I painted them right before we started, they really pop with color, and they're not even sealed yet. But this is your August box, and Courtney will get pictures for you guys, and I guess otherwise have yourself a good week. Oh, Helen says call it Hog Heaven. Well, maybe we're going to have to call it Hog Heaven. That's kind of cute. Yeah. Huh? Hedgehogs. So she says Hog Heaven. I think that's good. Yeah, these are really cute. When I have them at a craft show, people stop in their tracks, and they're pretty easy. It's a good dry brushing project to start with. There's lots of texture. We use about 6 to 8 colors that I remember right offhand, but yeah, they're really cute, and that's our August box. So thank you, everyone. Hope you had a great week. Everyone stay healthy, and we'll be checking in with you next Thursday. So have a great week. Bye.